simple, yes, no. That's why it's important to know how the clay is responding. When the clay responds, a vessel is made, a useful vessel. When the clay doesn't respond, let's see what happens. Well, if I try to open this, even though it's not centered, and it's lumpy and it's hard, and we drill into it and see what it looks like. My goodness. I have to use my knuckles, I can't use my fingers. What do you think it's going to look like? Oh, there it is. Done. Okay, I'm going. But God's not far away. He never lets us go. He never leaves us, not forsakes us. We may look pretty yucky and have not much of purpose, but He never leaves us. He knows us. It's not hopeless with this piece of clay. It's just a little harder. It just has to go through a process. See, I'm a potter, and I know the process. It has to go through to be soft again and be able to be used again. Most of you probably think, all I need to do is put it in a bucket of water and it'll get soft. But that's not true. It'll just get slimy and stay lumpy. What I have to do in order for the water to permeate all the way through to make it soft again is to put it aside and let it dry out. Now, how long do you think it would take to dry this piece of clay? 4 inches, 3 inches thick some places? See, I know, as a potter, that if this piece of clay were dry, it would be extremely fragile, because that's the most vulnerable place in a piece of clay, is when it's dry. It would be so fragile, I just have to tap it and it would crack and break. But that's what I want to do. It may take a long time for it to dry out. Maybe there's a lot of lessons to learn in that, some along the way as you're drying. But in the end, when you're broken, when you realize who God is, that's when He pours the water on. And when the water pours onto the dry pieces of clay in a basin, you can I literally can hear it absorb so fast. Because it's called, all you scientists out there, starts with a C. It's called capillary action. When it starts here, it's going to complete all the way through each piece, because it's going to be drawn through each piece. Each piece. And every piece will be soft. Now it's going to be a little too wet and a little too lumpy here and there. It's not smooth yet. So that means I have to take it out of the basin and then work it on an absorbent plaster or wood surface or something to absorb the excess moisture until it's smooth again. But it's not hopeless. It's just hard. Oh, I have another piece of clay to show you something. What happens when you have something in your life that you know you shouldn't be doing, you shouldn't be thinking, you shouldn't be a part of, whatever it might be? Maybe I can show that in clay too. Yep. Is that one little area that God said, and you knew it. You knew deep down inside your heart. I shouldn't be doing that. I shouldn't be thinking that. I shouldn't be a part of that. You knew it. But you didn't listen. And you thought, I can get away with it. It won't show. I can still do it. Nobody's going to know. But God. And I'm just showing you the size of it. Oops, sorry. Just showing that's the little hidden sin in the life of this vessel. Inside. I'm not saying God puts it there. I just wanted to show you the size before I began. Not big. Doesn't have to be big. It can be something small, and then it just keeps getting worse. that's, otherwise, this piece of clay is pretty responsive. It's a nice soft piece of clay. It's so easy to think that, nobody knows. You don't see anybody noticing or anything, and you don't talk about it, and you don't think they know. And, you just keep responding like this, and it looks good. Yeah, it looks like you really got it together. Maybe people think you really got, God. Look at that. Responding to the Father's hands. Yep. Centered. But I know, because I'm the Potter, I know what I feel inside this piece. You never hide from me. It may think, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. I'm not getting punished, nobody noticed. It doesn't really matter. I can get away with it. The little thing inside, nobody knows. Nobody knows it's there. There, center. Now, I'm going to the next step because, hey, I know I can do things. I can, let God come into my life, and then I can hopefully be opened up, and I probably will have a pretty big mission. Something in my life that's going to really be important. Maybe I'll lead a lot of people, maybe I'll be in ministry, maybe I'll just be the leader of this or that group, or, oops. You don't see anything, do you? No? Yeah, see? Nobody knows. You see anything yet? You see my hand moving? No. What's that? Oh my goodness. It's beginning to show. Hold on. I don't know. I can just put it in the back. And there. Nobody knows it's there. However, the clay's not moving. Nothing's happening. I'm not growing. I'm not going to my next place. No future. I'm feeling pretty dull. I'm bored. And I don't know what to do now. I have to keep hiding this thing. It takes a lot of thought process to hide it. What am I going to do now? Until one day, I don't know when, I had no idea God's timing for each of our lives. Only God knows that. You see, in Philippians it says that He always completes that which He begins. And there's a beginning here. It might not have been the best beginning in the world, but it's the beginning of God. It's been centered and opened. So now, the Potter's hands begin again to touch and lift this piece. And then anything's happening to it. It's going to go away. I don't think so. What's happening? It's getting a little ugly there where that thing is, and it's going to really come down. Oh my goodness, I haven't faster than that. Look, there it is, right there. And it affected the whole vessel. It wasn't just one little thing. I was like, oh, I'll just flip that up and go on. No, God could not let sin and righteousness exist in the same place. It has to be removed. It has to be asked of God, confessed, ask for forgiveness. The blood of Jesus Christ died for this sin too. Today's sin. And it has to come out. Ask for forgiveness and be cleansed and be made whole. And God removes it. How far? far as the east is from the west. I don't know how you can get any further away than that. I never figured that one out. Oh, now we see a real piece of clay marred in the end of the pot. How do you think the pot is going to make this one again into another vessel? Maybe just patch it up or something? Think it'll work? No. Back to the drawing board here. Back to the place where it needs to be wood. But because it is already very soft, not resistant, it would take a long time to do that. It's going to take 5 minutes. I'm going to prove it. Maybe not even that. Okay. Anybody ever feel like this? I didn't think so. I didn't think so. Pretty yucky though.